Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm the Youth and Families Worker here at Litchfield Mission, and every Saturday I'm making little craft videos for you guys to do at home. So the craft videos go hand in hand with our resource called Table Talk, which you can find on our website, where on Fridays there and on Saturdays in the craft videos we've been looking at the Hebrews Hall of Faith in chapter 11. So far we've looked at two different things. We've looked at the first couple of verses of Hebrews 11, which tell us what faith is, and we made this front cover of our book, which is going to be all about the different people we find in the Hebrews Hall of Faith. So here we just introduced what the Hebrews Hall of Faith is with that little definition of faith. And then last week we looked at the first person that we find in the Hebrews Hall of Faith, which is Abel. And we made this page, which is all about the verse about Abel, and we learnt a little bit more. So if you haven't done either of these crafts, I suggest going back and doing these crafts first, so that by the end of this series about the Hebrews Hall of Faith, you will have a complete book with everyone who's in the Hall of Faith in it. So today we are going to be learning about the next person in the Hebrews Hall of Faith, which is Enoch. So Enoch, just like all the other people in the Hebrews Hall of Faith, is in the Old Testament. And the first time we find Enoch in the Bible is in Genesis chapter 5. So we have to go right to the beginning of the Bible and find Genesis and find the big letter 5. And Enoch is in verses 21 to 24. So this is what it says about Enoch. It says, "When Enoch was 65 years old, he had a son called Methuselah. After Methuselah was born, Enoch walked with God 300 years more. During that time, he had other sons and daughters. So Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked with God. One day Enoch could not be found because God took him." So the Bible doesn't really tell us much about Enoch or his life. All it tells us is that he walked with God. So why is Enoch in the Hebrews Hall of Faith? So if we skip all the way to Hebrews 11, so we look for the big number 11, and we go to verse 5, that's where we find Enoch, and this is what it says. "It was by faith that Enoch was taken to heaven. He never died. He could not be found because God had taken him away. Before he was taken, the scripture says that he was a man who truly pleased God. Without faith, no one can please God. Anyone who comes to God must believe that he is real and that he rewards those who truly want to find him." So Enoch, like some of the other people in the Hebrews Hall of Faith, we don't have a big description of something really big that he did. What Enoch did that makes him worthy of being in the Hebrews Hall of Faith is that he had faith in God. He had faith in God, and he lived his life walking with God as God's friend, loving God and trusting God and having faith in God. And Enoch doing that, just living his life having faith in God and trying to please God, meant that God loved Enoch and took him to heaven instead of letting Enoch die. So here is today's craft, which is all about Enoch. So we've got the front of our page, which just tells us where to find Enoch in the Hebrews Hall of Faith. And then we've got this page at the back. So hidden under these clouds, we have the first part of our Bible verse for today, and hidden under this hedge as well. And then we've got this little system, which means we can move Enoch up and down so that he can go to be with God, or he can be on earth, or he can fall out completely. But it's okay, we can fix that. So that is today's craft, and I'll go ahead and show you how to make it. So the first thing you want to do is head to our website where you can find today's PDF, and then you need to download, print it and colour it in. And you should have 3 pieces of paper that look like this. So this is our main base piece of paper, so we don't need to cut anything out of this one, we just need to colour it in with the ground and the picture frame all done there. So once this one's coloured in, we can just kind of put it to one side. And then we've got this piece with the clouds, so they don't need to be coloured in either. We've got a hedge at the bottom, and then we've got 2 different pictures of Enoch where one is bigger than the other. And then last but not least, we've got some more clouds. We've got today's Bible verse, and we've got this long piece with 2 arrows at each end. So these 2 pieces of paper, you need to cut everything out, and then we will put it all together. Okay, Okay, so here's everything cut out, and we're going to start by focusing on this half of the page. So we don't need this picture of Enoch yet, so we're just going to put him up there. And then we're going to start by doing the cloud. So we're going to put all of this to one side, and I'll let you know when you need it. So first off, we need this big cloud here. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around, and we're going to stick it down, but leaving a gap down the centre, because that's where our kind of pulley system is going to work. So we're just going to do the corner and then this edge here. So I'm going to take some double-sided sticky tape, but you could use glue, and we're going to stick some down the edge, making sure we get right to the bottom of the edge. Do the same on the other side. And keep working our way along. There we go, and we'll peel that bit off first. Okay, now we'll just do a little bit in each corner so that it doesn't get too, well, it doesn't get tangled really. Okay. Lovely. And so now we're going to put this in the centre with this arrow pointing down and that arrow pointing up. And then we're going to stick this down here. Like that. So now we've got our clouds with the pulley system. So my clouds are a bit too big for this piece of paper, so I will just take this and I'm just going to fold it over like that. So now it fits properly. Cool. So now we're going to add the rest of the clouds to the piece of paper, but first we need to stick down the Bible verse. So the clouds are going to be arranged kind of like this, like that, and the first three parts of the Bible verse are going to be hidden underneath like that. So we're going to stick those down where they are so we don't forget to put them in the right order. So again, I'm going to take some double-sided sticky tape, and we're just going to put it down like this. There. Got a second bit, and then, oops, I've run out of sticky tape. And then this third one too. Cool. Right, so now we're going to stick the clouds on top, but just like we did last week, we're going to hide the Bible verse so that you'll still be able to do it. So we're going to stick them and fold them so that we'll be able to fold back to reveal the next part of the verse. So if I fold that one there, I can fold it back and reveal it, and if I fold this one up here, I'll be able to do the same. And if I fold this one here, I'll be able to do it too. So now we're going to take some little pieces of double-sided sticky tape or glue, whatever you're using, and we're just going to stick those only on the part that we've folded, so that we'll be able to peel it back and reveal the Bible verse underneath. Like that. So just sticking on the folded edge. And there's the third one done. But we've still got part of our Bible verse to do, and that part of our Bible verse is going to go down here. and that piece is going to be hidden by the hedge. So we'll stick this down first. Like that. I did originally draw some grass there, but we're not going to use that, so feel free to cover that bit of grass up. And then we're going to stick the hedge down, and just like the others, we're only going to stick the hedge down along one edge. I think I'm only going to stick it along here. And so I'll just put a tiny bit of double-sided sticky tape down all the way to the top, like this. So now I can stick that down here along where the fold is, or well, where this line is, and we're eventually going to fold it. And I can peel it back, and then we've got our the last bit of our Bible verse there. So to complete this page, we are going to stick Enoch down. So we're going to take the smaller picture of Enoch, which is here. We're going to stick him to the middle part of this long piece of paper with the 2 arrows. So we will take some double-sided sticky tape or some glue, and we will stick that into the middle here. Oops. So that Enoch sticks down. Just need a little bit more. There we are. So now Enoch sticks here, and then we can lift him up and lift him down again. So we can have him going up to be with God, and then we can pull him back down again. But to keep this neat inside our book, we're going to fold over the top of this piece of paper here. So when we are looking at this page, we can unfold it, and then we can move Enoch up and down. But when we're storing it, it can just be kept like that. And then for this page, all we need to do is stick Enoch down in the middle. So I'm just going to take loads of different double-sided sticky tape and stick him down. So we're going to stick him in the middle as central as we can get him. There we are. So next we are going to make this into a page that will fit inside our book. So we're just going to turn it upside down, and we are going to fold it in the middle. So where the end of the grass line is, that's where we'll fold. So there. And now we're just going to stick some double-sided sticky tape on the inside or some glue, and that will make it into our page ready to go inside our Hebrews Hall of Faith book. So if you're using glue, you might need to wait for everything else to finish drying before you can do this step, but it will be fine in the end. So now we just stick it down. And here we are, today's craft. We've got our Enoch page ready for our Hebrews Hall of Faith book, and then when we turn at the page, we'll be able to see Enoch, and we can move him up and down and read the Bible verse, which says, "It was by faith that Enoch was taken to heaven. He never died, he could not be found, because God had taken him away. Before he was taken, the scripture says he was a man who truly pleased God." Hebrews 11 verse 5. So that is today's craft. So I hope you enjoyed today's craft, and next week we'll be back to make the next page of our Hebrews Hall of Faith book, which will be all about Noah. So I'll see you then. Bye.